Well, hey everybody, Cozy's pointing at me, which means it's time for the show. Welcome to Respawn Fire, the Kick-Ass Urban Game Podcast from RAF Idiots. I'm one of your hosts, Adam. He knows when he get pointed at. Gumbert. And today, from different parts of the world, some of us are backwards in our basements, some of us are in different rooms altogether. Today, we have with us Chad. Where you at, buddy? Go ahead.
Hey, welcome to my childhood bedroom with all the eclecticness and wild things that my parents have perfectly preserved, like a pig's foot in a jar of vinegar.
I don't like
Pickled.
that.
Pickling is a way of preserving things.
Yeah, but why are you gonna eat it?
No, I'm not going to eat a pickled pig's foot.
Okay. And we also have with us Alex. Why is your room look different this time? Cozina.
Hey, hey, hey. This is I got to say this is the first time in quite some time that I'm actually live streaming one of these productions. Obviously, I've recorded a ton of the game shows that we've done throughout the year. I've done a bunch of other things in OBS. First time in a little while that I've actually been live streaming one of these things. So far, seems like it's going good. So far, seems like it's going okay. If any of you in the chat are like, something seems a little bit screwy, do let me know as soon as possible because I will
This is
do
a
my
test.
best. I will do my best to play Stream Doctor live on air and see if I can resuscitate this patient. To answer your
Ooh.
question, Adam, the reason why my stream background looks a little bit different than before is because I'm in the process of playing around with the layout of my basement to prepare for the return of Cozy Bear's Cooking. It's a little bit tough to see from here because it's like a very limited view of the basement, but basically, originally I was positioned where I'm currently standing right now, but 6 feet back, give or take. And I basically pushed my PC right up against the wall of the basement so I could give myself a little bit more space behind it to put the table that I am going to be doing Cozy Bear's Cooking on. Basically, the long and short of it is I used to do Cozy Bear's Cooking from my parents' kitchen upstairs. It just got very, very tiring to have to constantly clean up both before and after doing the streams in the kitchen. I always wish that I had just a set that I could constantly reuse and, not have to constantly clean the shit out of. On top of that, because it was upstairs, I was also running it on entirely off of my laptop, and it was just a very convoluted process. And obviously, I wasn't able to take advantage of the sheer horsepower that my custom built PC offers. And so, yeah, when I decided to pick up the slack and start up Cozy Bear's Cooking again, it's like I gotta figure out how to make this work in the basement. And so yeah, that's the situation.
Cozy Bear, I got I
Yes.
got hyper fixated on the way you said a sentence that said the table that I'm going to be doing Cozy Bear's cooking show on. And then or no, sorry, Cozy Bear's cooking on, and then that made me go down a rabbit hole in my brain of saying, "I want your show to be called Cozy Bear's Cooking on Cook Show, the cook show on our cooking show where we play cook on the cooking show on our cooking show, cook, cook,
I
cook,
will
cook, cook, cook."
definitely take that into consideration. I will
Perfect.
most definitely do so.
I hope you do. Catch us live Sunday evenings at 8:30 on twitch.tv/halfofidiots. YouTube and podcast services Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Just a bit of a programming warning. Do you warn people about programming or you just update them about it?
I mean, if it's like a parental advisory or if we're about to say something that, like, you should hide your children, hide your wife.
Yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife. All right. So this show is coming out Tuesday, December 12th for the
Correct.
podcast and YouTube people. Will not be a show next week, but the following Tuesday, we will have Game of the Year Pody Goaty Part 1. The following Tuesday after that will be We Decide Game of the Year. And for the Patreon people, patreon.com/respawn_aim_fire, the day before Christmas, I believe, you'll have a special Patreon exclusive thing. Maybe it's a movie commentary about a very bad movie. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It
We don't
just
know if it's a bad movie or not,
I'm
Adam.
sure
We have
it's
not seen it.
wonderful. Yeah. Can it be as good
It
as Finding
was
Jesus 2? We will see.
it was theatrically released, which means that the people, that produced it believed that it had, at least some modicum of quality if they thought
No,
fit to
I have to
release it
look up
to
the
the
box
public like
office of
that.
this movie now.
It's like $50. But anyways, yeah, so that's programming note this week. Take a break next week. Game of the Year 2 weeks after that, or for the next 2 weeks. We're going to move into our main quest. That's basically Game Awards is the only thing that really happened. But here's something else just to start the show off, and then we'll get to all our thoughts about Game Awards and the announcements and such. First up, though, no yawns here. GTA 6 has people in a tizzy. It's from Ryan Dinsdale at
Oh yeah,
IGN.com.
that's right. The GTA 6 trailer debuted this past
It
week.
it did, it did, it did. Rockstar Games GTA 6 trailer has already surpassed, yeah, predecessor GTA 5's reveal trailer views, reaching 1.1 million views in less than 2 days. The GTA 6 trailer, which reintroduces fans to Rockstar's take on Miami, Vice City, as well as the greater state of Lanita, a fictional Florida,
Leonida,
as
I think.
Leonidas, like King
Leonidas,
Leonidas
yeah,
from 300.
yeah, fake Florida, has already dwarfed some pretty strong rivals in terms of trailer views. After 15 hours, it had more views than the reveal trailers of Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Breath of the Wild all combined. GTA 6 trailer is actually record breaking. Guinness Book of World Records on Twitter confirmed it was the most viewed video game reveal on YouTube over a 24-hour period. It's also the most viewed non-music video on YouTube in 24 hours. Game was released alongside a 2025 release date for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. So it came out a little bit early because Bitcoin people were trying to leak it early. Um, yeah, that's why it released. Some dudes were like, "Buy my Bitcoin and get the GTA 6 trailer early," and they're like, "Fuck it, we got to release it."
Did they buy the Bitcoin?
Somebody did, and then Rockstar said, "Fuck that," and then took it back. But yeah, it's out. A lot of people watched it. The game looks fucking gorgeous. I'm excited for a year and a half from now when I get to play it. So
You think
good
it's going to be a
times.
year and a half?
They said 2025, and there's a whole thing about the fiscal year where they're trying to hit that fiscal year, which would be March of 2025 at the latest. So I think that's what they'll shoot for. If we actually get it, then we'll see. But I know Chad, you don't care about the game or whatever, but it looks fucking pretty. Holy shit!
The game here's my take. The game is about crime, and it
Hmm.
is also a crime that IMDb holds the box office information for Elf Bowling behind the paywall of
A
IMDb Pro. That is
paywall.
censorship. That is against the Constitution of the United States of America.
I don't appreciate it.
That's my thoughts
What
on
if
it
I
over
just
here.
Google elf bowling?
I did. I
Box
went to
office.
Box Office Mojo, which it turns out is in cahoots with IMDb, and they're owned by IMDb Pro.
Fuck.
Shit.
Went to Rotten Tomatoes, no mention of a theatrical release
Because it
there.
made $10, so they didn't even bother reporting it. Anyways, Cozy, any thoughts?
Yes, I
Oh no,
agree with
Chad,
you,
go ahead.
Adam. This is a very gorgeous trailer. Beautiful, wild, wonderful people in the trailer as well, both graphically and many of their attributes and their behaviors as well. But no, it's a gorgeous trailer. Technology that I am very curious to see how it actually like, does it look like this on a large scale in the open world? Is this a cutscene? Are these I mean, obviously, the game is at least, as you kinda mentioned, probably, like, 18 months away, maybe. So there's lots of opportunity for them to continue to push the limits of the current hardware, especially seeing as it's not currently scheduled to be released on PC, at least publicly. So, yeah, I am blown away and also a little bit skeptical of how it might look that good on current hardware, which is really great. But yeah, looks like it's going to be a fantastic people for people who love GTA, and I'm just not in that audience. But I'm happy that all of y'all are, and all of you are showing your love and support by viewing that trailer so many times.
A lot of them. Cozy, did you like the ass physics in the trailer?
Oh man, I loved every second of it. Good ass trailer. Good ass trailer. I got to be honest. There have not been many trailers this generation that have made me legitimately go, "Oh wow, this is a truly next gen looking experience." But obviously, as Chad alluded to, we'll have to see how legitimate this actually turns out to be once we get our hands on it. We will certainly see.
I will say.
I am not
Oh, go ahead.
honestly like I'm skeptical, but like I believe it. I mean, we saw Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4 and Xbox One, and how amazing that game looked too. Even if you did have to fucking polish your gun and pee and recycle your pee with a fucking
That's not a thing
straw
you
that
did in that
filters it
game.
into your mouth, and you
Cowboys
have
did
to
not
pee
have
into
that.
your own mouth 3 times a day, or else you get exhausted. But yeah, I'm like I'm skeptical because I haven't seen it yet, but I also have trust in Rockstar that they'll be able to pull it off somehow.
Have any
That
of
is the thing.
the sorry,
Go ahead,
real quick,
Cozy.
have
No,
any
go
of the
ahead.
Grand Theft Auto games had like rideable horses? Like obviously that's a well-known aspect of the Red Dead
Hmm.
games, but did the horses ever cross over to Grand Theft Auto?
No,
If not,
you
that's
didn't
a
have to
0
ride
out of
them.
10 right there.
I was going
No,
to
I don't
say,
think you
I
could.
feel like there's a great opportunity here. Bring horses to Leonida. Bring horses to
I
the
mean, how
world of
hard is it to
GTA.
copy paste horse balls from RDR2 and put them into
That's
GTA
exactly what I'm
6, right?
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Florida's a place where people would ride horses through the street, so I think you could make it work. I would say I'm not skeptical. There was a an article about a guy who worked at Rockstar. Is like, oh no, they're absolutely gonna hit this. Like this was. And then if you look at every reveal trailer ever, like you were saying, Red Dead looks exactly like the trailer did. You're like, there's no fucking way. And then you play the game and it does. So I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it. Should be good.
Another
in,
idea.
a year and a half.
I'm just going to throw this out here. There's that scene in The Rescuers, the animated Disney movie, where the evil lady basically goes on like a jet ski that's made out of 2 crocodiles. I bet that we could do something similar here, where like you're riding on multiple crocodiles all at once, kind of like it's like Solid Snake before he was recruited to infiltrate Shadow Moses Island, and he was, participating in all those dog sled races. It's the same idea.
Nice callback.
It's the same idea, but you're riding around on a bunch of alligators that are pulling you along your water sleigh.
Well. You said crocodiles at first, and now it's alligators. Which is it?
Both of them live in the state of Leonida. Both of them live in the state of Leonida.
But not both of them are in the movie The Rescuers.
Fuck. Do I have to look this up now?
You have to look this up now. While I bring up another point that I had not thought about until I heard it on the Kind of Funny Games Daily, I believe it was, when they were discussing the trailer, and like, how do you think it's going to run on Xbox Series S?
This is from
1440p.
Disney.fandom.com. Brutus and Nero are Madame Medusa's 2 pet crocodiles and the secondary antagonists of Disney's 1977 animated feature film, The Rescuers. So there you go.
Okay, thank you to the New York Times for providing that correction to Cozy's previous statement calling them alligators. The Xbox Series S, I think it's an interesting thing. Resolution is just like a small piece of it, and it's, what is that capable of cranking out from its GPU in terms of like populating the streets with citizens and things going on and different particle effects and all these kinds of things. That are they going to? I don't think it's going to get anywhere near like a Nintendo Switch scale down, like dumbed down in terms of graphics and shit like that. But I think we might see like Spider-Man 2 when it came out on PS5, the two modes, performance and quality. Well, actually, there were lots of different variations in there. But basically, if you had it on performance mode, like the density in the cities was like super reduced, and the cars, like they turned into 2D sprites basically off in the distance, way closer to you than they did in the quality mode. So I'm wondering if they're going to go like if that's all the concessions they'll need to make, or whether they're going to have to work with Microsoft in order to say like, how do we do this game differently on your console, or please can we just get a get out of jail free card and not have to do it on that console?
I need to look.
In which case, Microsoft would say no, because that's our best selling console. You have to put it out on there too. So
I need to look and do the actual research, because the differences in them is like, I feel like they have the exact same CPU and GPU inside the machine, and there is a difference, but there's like in theory everything should work on both. You had to make some concessions here or there. I think maybe for memory. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, maybe it's RAM.
Yeah, it might be RAM is the only difference, and everything else is the same. So yeah, probably just lower density. But we'll see. Because guess what? I have an X, so I'll be just fine.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on from there, we're gonna move on to playtime. That is the time where we talk about the things we played. Sometimes we call it playtime. Alex, you go first, because these games do not make sense to me.
Sure. So, I actually meant to bring this up on the previous episode of Respawning Fire, but kind of forgot to do so, slipped my mind then. I've been playing a little bit of Lethal Company with one of my secret Discord servers. I had seen the streams that Kind of Funny did of it. Those streams did not motivate me to play the game myself. What motivated me was my friends being like, hey, this might be a cool, fun time. And I said, yeah, sure, might as well. And lo and behold, it is a cool, fun time. Definitely very much feels like a game that is in early access version 0.001, but there is a seed of something real fun in that game. Just looking around for weird old beer bottles and bells and horns and taking it into your bosses, which may or may not be giant hentai tentacles. And yeah, not too much else to say there. Have either of you played Lethal Company so far?
No, I do not have a PC for nerddom.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
For the record,
honestly, though, hearing other people's thoughts on it, I'm like, kind of wish this was on consoles so I could play and have fun.
I will say, for the record, I'm pretty sure that any PC could run this game. Not that this game looks like
I literally don't
absolute
have any
trash,
PC.
but anyways. Okay, well, I guess that's that. Adam? Have you?
No, I've been looking at it. That's the thing where like I always want to see with these games where like a game comes out of nowhere and hits and everyone's like super into it, especially it's like a co-op game. I'm like, I want to see if like in 3 months people are still into it, then I'll jump in because
Sure.
I love these kind of games, but I need people to stick around
Yeah, I
just for
get
a
it.
little bit.
I
But
get it.
no, it looks cool as hell. I just need time to get into it. If
Uh,
people are playing the new year, I'll play it.
the other big game that I've been playing over the course of the past week is a little game by the name of Super Mario RPG, the
Proud of
remake
you.
that recently
So
released
proud
on
of
the
you.
Switch. And here's the thing, I'm enjoying this game. It's a good time so far. The more I play of this game, the more I wish I was rather playing the upcoming remaster of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door that's coming next year. This game is good. I think this game, what I really appreciate about this game this time around is just how incredibly strong so much of the visual humor is in this game. There's a great bit early on where you encounter this character who's called the Frog Sage, and he's this very wise frog character. When you first encounter him, he's literally floating in front of you, or so it seems. Turns out he's actually
Frogficious,
being
by the
held
way.
up by the fishing rod of Lakitu, and you realize, oh, he's constantly mouthing off to the side. All right, move me a little bit back, move me a little bit forward. And then there's a great moment where he reveals, spoiler for Super Mario RPG, that your companion, Mallow, who believes himself to be a tadpole, is not actually a tadpole. And everybody is shocked, and the Lakitu has been hiding behind just out in the corner and not to be seen, suddenly reappears as well. There are just so many great moments of comedy in this game. And overall, it is a solid RPG inspired by the flavor of the Mushroom Kingdom. But my thing is, I just feel like, man, this game just feels like such a first pass at what a Mario RPG can be. And I just feel like the Mario and Luigi games and Paper Mario games were like such better kind of iterations on this formula. Um, Again, like this game is a classic, full stop, but it reminded me a little bit of, stick with me on this because this is a weird comparison. I remember after From Software started putting out the Dark Souls games, I remember some pundits being like, man, you know, Sony technically still owns Demon Souls. What they should do is, now that From Software is making their own Dark Souls games, is they should hire some other company to continue Demon Souls and have that be a like Soulsborne series that they can own. And I remember thinking, like, it's kind of weird that some people are like, oh man, it's kind of weird that like we would go back to like that older kind of iteration of what the kind of Soulsborne games were like. As much as Demon Souls is a great game, it's just always struck me as a little bit weird that some people were like, we should kind of go back and continue from that like more pre-nascent point. And I feel very similarly about Super Mario RPG, where over the years I've heard people be like, man, they should go back to basics. They should go back to the special something that they had with the original Super Mario RPG. And now, having, you know, played it more than a few hours of it, I'm like, again, great game, but like I just feel like we evolved past where this game was at when it first released in the late 90s. And yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that makes me excited for Thousand Year Door.
have you played
Because
Thousand Year
I've
Door
I've never
before?
played any of the other Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi games aside
Okay.
from Paper Mario Office Depot. But I did play, so like the fact that you think this is a good game, but like Thousand Year Door is gonna knock your socks off. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think you're gonna really love Thousand Year Door, and it's interesting for me because when I played Thousand Year Door many years ago, I think I was a little bit too caught up in feeling defensive about Super Paper Mario, which is the Paper Mario game that came after Thousand Year Door, and as a result, I felt like I didn't totally give Thousand Year Door the shake perhaps that it deserved first time around. And so I'm really looking forward to not only like rediscovering a great RPG, but also a great RPG that I feel like I wasn't in the mind space to kind of fully enjoy back then. And so I feel like in that way it'll actually feel really fresh for me. But yeah, I still intend to beat Super Mario RPG by the end of the year. Like it's still a very enjoyable game by its own standards, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
currently
and
where
also
I'm at.
very short too. So I think that's an
Yeah.
easy one.
And yeah, the only other thing I've been doing over the course of the past week is I decided to jump back into Diablo 4. It feels like every couple of months I reach like a weird lull where I'm in between playing major releases, and I'm like, well, I need something to occupy my time. Diablo 4 is there. Might as well jump back into there. I have not touched any of the season 2 content because I kind of want to just take care of all the other content in the game that I never got around to, so that I can say that I finally platinumed it. It's still slow progress, but I did finally get to tier 4, which is like the highest difficulty tier currently available in the game. And yeah, I will keep you posted on my progress.
Do we have
Very
news
nice.
about when the first expansion for that's coming? Because I think that's probably when I'll jump back in.
Next year, right? Because they showed it at BlizzCon. I just don't know what the date was on it.
Oh, that's right. And yeah, there's like Daughter of Hatred or something like that, right?
Yeah. You're in the jungle hanging out with Mephisto or whatever. Some shit like that. Yeah.
Vessel of Hatred is what it's
Vessel
called.
of Hatred. That's what it is. Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's coming in 2024. What I'm reading, though, is that there's no specific release date yet.
Yeah.
Late 2024. So it'll be a little while before we get our hands on it.
Cool.
Very cool.
The New York
Chad.
Times actually just texted me,
Oh my God, here we go.
Oh, no.
and they have a correction. They have a clarification they wanted to make. While yes, there is a RAM difference between the Series S and X, and that difference is 10 gigabytes versus 16, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
The CPU is exactly the same, but the GPU is very different. The GPU on the S is capable of 4 teraflops, which we all know now that like teraflops doesn't necessarily equal raw power or anything like or capability, but S has 4, X has 12, so 3 times the GPU
Mm-hmm.
power. So
Which is your
um,
graphical processing unit, for those
that
who
is
don't
your
know.
graphical processing unit. That's
Yes.
right. Also, Geppetto's puppet, Uriel.
That's not Pinocchio? It's Uriel?
No, it's Uriel. Yeah.
I don't know why those two things came together in the same text message, but very interesting.
Yeah, the New York Times, I guess they're covering all their bases. They're like, it's efficiency. They got to pay 10 cents per text message, so they're going to shove it all into one. Uriel is often identified as a cherub and the angel of repentance.
Mm-hmm.
Stands at the gate of Eden with a fiery sword. Okay, first of all, a cherub is like a baby angel, right? A baby naked angel.
I
Standing
think
at the
that's a
gate of Eden with
Cupid.
a fiery sword?
I think you're thinking of a Cupid.
Hold on. What is a cherub and how does
Okay.
it differ from a cupid?
Uh, what's it
A
gonna say?
cherub is a creepy celestial. This comes from monksmeadery.com.
I don't
Oh,
trust
of
it.
course.
A cherub is a creepy celestial being with the head of a human, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. How does it have the head of all 4 of those? Cupid is a powerful Roman god of erotic love with his desire. No, this is different. This is wrong.
Okay.
How
How about I'll do the research on the cherub. Chad, tell me about what you played about. Played about?
chubby baby angels differ from biblical cherub angels. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, you continue, please, to do that research.
I will.
I'm specifically looking for anything that feeds my confirmation bias. I'm just looking for one source that tells me a cherub is a naked baby, so that I can imagine that naked baby with a fiery sword at the gates of Eden. I played this week a few things. Okay, so yes, I am on holiday vacation at my parents' house for 3 weeks. And because of that, I've decided, of course, not to uproot my entire entertainment center. And I have brought with me 3 main ways of gaming. My
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Switch, which remained untouched this week. I brought with me an analog pocket with a selection of cartridges to play games on. And I brought with me a PlayStation Portal. So today I was playing Zelda Oracle of Ages on my analog pocket. It is a Zelda game that I have never played. My brother had
Okay.
Ages, I had
I was
Seasons.
literally just about to ask that. Did you play? So you
Yeah.
played. Sorry, you're playing. Which one are you playing right now? It's very confusing.
I am playing Ages right now.
And did you previously play Seasons?
I played Seasons as a
Got it.
child, yes, mostly because it had a kangaroo with boxing gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I chose Zelda Oracle of Seasons as a child. And my brother said, I'm sophisticated and I'm older. And therefore, I like the more complex things that make me think. And I'm going to time travel through Zelda Oracle of Ages. And I said, I don't know what that means. But they also they very much correlate with the color of Pokemon cartridges we chose as well, because I chose Pokemon Red and he chose Pokemon Blue. Anyway, yeah, so playing Zelda Oracle of Ages, and very early on in it, I just played a little bit in the car today while my parents drove me around from like wood store to wood store to look at wood. And fucking Analog Pocket. I know I say this a lot, but it is just a gorgeous device. If you do not have one of these and you have any interest in playing old Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games through legal or illegal means, this is the device for you. This is like the penultimate excellent, amazing device. So I'll continue to update that on my thoughts on the actual game once I get more into it. I also played on a fourth device I hadn't mentioned, Twist. I played on my iPhone, Sonic Dream Team.
Oh, this is the new
I
one.
played it. Yeah, this is the brand new 3D Sonic game exclusive to Apple Arcade. And I played it for about 20 minutes. And I said, don't play this game with touch controls. Sucks a fuck.
Are you gonna
Obviously, as it is
still, when you get your hands on a controller, are you gonna try it again via Bluetooth, or do you think that's it for you?
I do not think I will. But that is not to say that the game will not perform well, because uh, to me, playing the game, it felt very much like it is a mobile game. It is very short levels. It is designed like you're going to go through these levels. They take like 45 seconds to a minute each. They are kind of simple in their execution, but it's very smooth in the way that you go through them. And that gameplay, first of all, Sonic, the gameplay itself, does not generally appeal to me, despite having played dozens of them growing up and thinking that I liked them. But also, it's just like, again, that's breaking out my phone, getting a controller paired to it with Bluetooth, hooking up a mount on top of it because I don't have one of those backbone controllers to go onto it, and then like playing 45-second spurts of this 3D Sonic game that already isn't hooking me from a gameplay perspective. So no, I'm not going to bother to do that. But I've heard from someone who has famous balls that it plays great on the backbone. So he has a backbone and his iPhone, and it plays great on there. My issue is that like it's just the touch controls. It's just so obviously jumping and homing in on enemies with a button press is important in Sonic, and it is just so easy to tap just outside of that button and not jump and fall to your death, or not hit the enemy and that kind of thing, because there's no tactile feedback. So not a great experience for me, and you have to drag your right thumb to change the camera angle, which you don't necessarily really have to do if you're just going linearly through these levels. But the fact that you cannot move, change your camera angle, and also like jump or something like that, it's touch controls. If you've played a game, a 3D game with touch controls, that's what it is. And so if you like that thing, go play it. Great. If not, who the fuck cares? But I did unlock Amy Rose, so there's that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't.
So
So
that's out.
I'm looking through a secret Discord I'm in that chat's not allowed to be in. And Mike Towndrow, who some of you guys might know from 6-1 Indie, he's a very amazing chap. I like him a lot. He is a big Sonic fan. He's one of those Sonic sickos. And he liked it a lot. I don't think he played with touch controls. He was like, it's one of the better feeling 3D Sonic games that is out there. But I also assume that's with a controller. So if
Sure.
you like 3D Sonic and you're one of those weirdos, Cozy, you should probably check it out if you get a chance, because Mike says it's good, and that man, he wore a
I mean,
Shadow the Hedgehog shirt to a PAX panel. I'll just
to
leave
be
it at
clear, Shadow the Hedgehog is not in this game.
that. Okay. Well, I'm just pointing out the shirt
But
that he wore.
yeah, and to be honest, yeah, Apple Arcade, there are so many other ways to play this game. Like you can play it with an iPad and a controller. You can play it on your Mac with a controller. You can play it on your Apple TV and hook up a DualSense or an Xbox controller to it as well. So like you don't have to play it on your phone. Um, but to me it feels like a mobile focused version of that game. Not mobile in the fact that like it monetizes, obviously, because Apple Arcade you're not allowed to monetize on or have microtransactions, but the fact that it's like, short spurts intended to be played while you're waiting in line and that kind of stuff, which is not something that appeals to me to want to play on a big screen on my couch.
See, it's funny you say that, because like there's a not zero chance that I will check this game out myself on my mobile phone of choice, but like real talk, if Sega were to announce, hey, we're porting this to PlayStation 5, that would actually convince me to go and check it out, because this game looked pretty decent in trailers and previews leading up to it. But the fact that it's on my itty bitty phone screen is kind of the biggest turnoff for me personally.
Yeah. And then I played my PlayStation Portal, and
Hey.
I have only previously played it in my own apartment, mere feet from my PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked very, very well there. And I think I'd actually, yeah, I had an identical experience where I played Iron Banner when I first got it in Destiny 2 as a way to test out PvP and latency and lag, and found that I was just like not quite as good at aiming and getting like precision shots, but like it still felt very capable, and it was an excellent way to remote play. And being here at my parents' house, 2,230 something miles away from San Jose, performs identically. It's still, when I think about it, blows my mind that the internet works like that. But the fact that I can be so many miles away from my PlayStation console and have the same amount of lag as if I were 4 feet from it blows my mind. And I did play about 10 rounds of Iron Banner in Destiny today, and I more than half of the time won the matches, and probably 2/3 of the time was the highest scorer in those matches too. Which it could be that Destiny matchmaking just paired me with people because it realized, hey, you shit the bed in that first match and you sucked, so we're gonna matchmake you with worse people to compensate for you remote playing. But I didn't feel like that was the case generally. So very impressed with my PlayStation Portal. It's still just like such a cool here's the metaphor I use to describe it to someone with very famous balls.
Metaphor Refantasio?
Metaphor, Refantasio, Ralph Macchio, Fabio. Hit in the face with a bird on a roller coaster, blood
Very
everywhere.
funny. Very funny.
Here's the metaphor that I used. It's like you can have, speaking of remote play and the PlayStation Portal, like you can have, let's say you have a sedan, you have a four-door sedan, and every once in a while you have to move some furniture, right? Can't really do that in your sedan. So you have two options. You can get a trailer that you tow behind your car occasionally. That might be, an external controller or the backbone as a way that you remote play. Or you can buy a cargo van as an additional vehicle, and you can drive the cargo van to deliver the furniture. As long as you are privileged enough to have a place to store that cargo van when you're not using it, and that you can afford two different vehicles. Um, but it's just a little bit better suited to the job, and it's a little bit better of an experience and easier to drive than it would be a trailer on the back of a sedan. And that's kind of how I feel like the PlayStation Portal is, where it's like it is by no means a necessary device. It is absolutely the like, if you have cash to burn and you are looking for a 10 to 15% better remote play experience over a backbone, this is the way to go. It's just optimized for it, and it's worth it for me, especially being 3 weeks away from home. So that's it. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's all I played.
Very cool. So an update on the cherub situation. It
Yes, please.
appears there are cherubs in basically every major religion. The baby weird version that you're speaking of is specifically Christianity, where
Right, of course.
it's a baby with
Well,
angels.
this is America, and we all know that despite separation of church and state, we are very much a Christian nation with Christian values,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
therefore we love our Christian baby versions of
We love
things.
our little baby Jesus. But no, in every other religion, it's like these four creatures with the different heads, and it's these massive creatures with huge wings. And in Christianity, it's a baby. Don't know why. That's what it is. There you
Okay.
go. History of cherubs. All
I
right,
don't remember
next.
why cherubs were even relevant to the conversation,
Ah,
but I'm
fuck.
glad to know I was right.
I think Cozy did it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that I did not, but you can go ahead.
No. Next up, I played. This is what Adam played this week. I played some finals. Finals
Ooh.
went full
Very good.
release
Very good.
on Thursday. I played a little bit by myself. Then earlier before recording, I played with Joel. And yeah, it's really good. You guys obviously had played the beta, and I hadn't played it. I was like, fuck, that looks good, and it's really great. I just love being a heavy and getting that fucking sledgehammer and just knocking
Oh,
buildings
yes.
down, dude. Holy hell, man! It's like, oh,
It's
they're on the
so
top
good.
floor. Let me just literally destroy the floor and the ceiling. The building crumbles around you. It's so good. Three on
And the
three on
fact that
three
you
on
can have
three on
a
three.
sledgehammer and an RPG at the same time, it's just
Yeah.
like fuck everything up. It's so good.
It's a very fun little free to play, run around and do some objective gameplay. Playing with
I'll
random
tell you what, man,
sucks,
though.
but you only need 3, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not hard to get like a squad of 3 together for that. But I tell you what, heavy is definitely, it's very alluring right up front. But once you get enough of those like points or credits or whatever the in-game currency is to unlock some extra weapons for people, Give the light version a try with the fencing sword.
Oh,
You are
fencing
just
sword.
like this tiny little person running around so fast, and you have a little grapple hook too that you can like really get
Mhm.
out of sticky situations. And you're just like stabbing people, poking them with this stupid little sword that does so much damage for some reason.
That's wild.
It's so good. And you can also charge it up and like thrust. It's so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of verticality, a lot of fast-paced action, good stuff. Cozy, I got a question for you. Tell me how you feel
Yes.
about this.
Yes.
So there's 3 classes. You got a medium, a heavy, and a light.
Mm-hmm.
Medium is what you think it is. It's a normal, average-looking human being. That's like your healer, your support, basically your support class. Heavy, you would expect a larger person, taller, big buff,
Yeah.
large woman or man or whoever you decide to be. Again, destroy buildings and stuff. The light class, like Chad said, very quick. They got grappling hooks.
Oh no. Is it a
They
cherub?
can't take well, almost. It's so weird because it's like, all right, the medium class, let's say it's like a 5'8" person, 5'10". The heavy, maybe like a 6'4", 6'5". I'm not kidding you. A normal human-sized proportion person, but about 4'5". It's so weird to see this child running around on the battlefield, but it's
That
just like
sounds terrifying, honestly.
it's weird. Like, why are they
It
so
makes me
small?
laugh every time.
And it's like not even a child because it's the proportions of an adult. So you're like, that's just a small adult. Very small adult. It's very fun. Very good game. Next up, I played Morse Ball of Gate 3. Was in the
Game
mood
of the
for
year
it.
winner, or some say.
Yeah, I won a bunch of awards apparently at different places, maybe. But no, having a good time. Good. I think I hit max level. So now I'm just ready to finish stuff up and hit the end of the story on that. And then I started Alan Wake 2 as well.
Nice.
Uh, good couple of ways into that. Fucking love that game so far. It's Remedy game. Um, and I'm really digging it so far. Not too scared either. I was worried about being scared. After the first jump scare, I was fine. No problems.
Yeah, I wanna make sure to hammer that point home because there are people like Joel who are like, "I'm a baby and I can't play Alan Wake 2, but everything I see I need to play." Like, play it. Play it.
Yeah.
It's not that scary, Joel.
It really is not. And the scariest moments are those jump scares where something super freaky appears in front of the screen for a second. But like, other than
Yeah.
that, other than that, game is pretty tame.
Just play it on your TV speakers, not headphones. You'll be fine. And again, the first thing that scared me was when the deer jumped out of the forest. It wasn't even the screen
Yeah.
flashing stuff because I'm used to that with Remedy. I know that's coming. That doesn't bother me because that doesn't feel like in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that doesn't bother me so much. But
Although if you're one of those people that like your brain thinks logically and tries to reduce fear through mechanical advantage. If you wear headphones, you get the 3D audio and you can know exactly what direction the thing that's coming to get you is coming from. And so therefore you can say, I know it's coming from 276 degrees on the compass this way, and
mhm.
therefore I can turn and effectively take it. Whereas if you just have a stereo setup, you're like, well,
No,
is it
it's
coming
not.
from Spain? I don't know.
Yeah, that's where it is, Spain. Also, play on story mode because that's what I'm doing. I just don't have to worry about
Yeah,
dying.
story mode, 100% go story.
Easy. Have fun.
Yeah,
Great
that
cast.
was definitely something that I learned the hard way trying to go for normal. Definitely
No need for that.
don't make it any
Even
more
though
difficult for you.
there is a meta moment that I think is probably one of the most insane meta moments I've ever seen in a piece of media. I'm not going to talk about it because I guess it's not really spoilers, but it's early enough in the game. I don't really want to talk about it. But it's like there's like 17 layers to that fucking joke you guys
It,
just made.
it,
Thank you
it
very
was
much.
pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that Nintendo allowed Meta Knight of the Kirby franchise to appear in this game.
He's owned by Fox Kids, first of all, not by Nintendo. Let's
What?
be real. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Was
That's
he
just
created for the cartoon, the
no,
anime?
No.
he was
Okay.
definitely before that.
There were a few characters that were created for the cartoon. There was the what's his name?
Escargoon,
Yeah, Escargoon, the snail. He was created for the cartoon.
that fucking loser.
That fucking loser.
I love him, but he's such a dope. But yeah, that's all I played. Alan Wake Finals, Baldur's Gate. Getting ready for Game of the Year stuff. And that's it. We're gonna move on to our quest log now. That's where we talk about the other stuff. One story here, and we can do this how you guys want to do. Game Awards. Winners, announcements, gripes. Apparently, some people had or whatever. I wrote down for us on the doc. These are all of the. I just went to like different articles from IGN and pulled down like all of the stuff that I thought was bigger important. It's most of it. I didn't put the stuff in here like Refantazio got showed again. Like, who gives a fuck? There's no date. That's a
Hey,
dumb game for babies. If there was a date, I put it in here, but if there wasn't a date, it was just a trailer, I didn't. So if you got something in your head we can talk about, whatever. We don't have to go through this whole list. But Game Awards did happen. We'll get to that in my segment about who won our guessing game and who has to pay a debt to the devil. We'll get to that in a little bit. But just as the Game Awards go, I know Cozy, you had something to say. So if you want to start off top and talk about it, we can, or we can talk about the announcements, whatever you guys want to do. I don't care.
Top level thoughts. I was pretty not happy with these Game Awards this year. I watched the Game Awards live in one of my secret Discords, and typically, because usually there are like some fun little announcements tucked into it, I usually start with the pre-show, which starts like a good half hour before the show proper starts. And so like 45 minutes into it, so entirely through the pre-show and into the first 15 minutes of the Game Awards, I was like, wow, this is moving at a real good clip. We've had some pretty cool announcements. I know it's not in your notes, but I especially was intrigued by Pony Island 2 Panda Circus, which is the
That
new
is in
game
my
from
notes. You weren't looking down here. It's in the notes.
Oh shit! The
egg
New
on my
York Times
face.
are like, if offer a correction.
Egg on
Right
my
there. I just
face.
highlighted it.
Where is it? There's like 3 pages or like.
Yeah, the problem is it's on the 4th page of notes.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I was gonna say, Adam, it feels like you were setting me up there. That was entrapment. You were setting me up there to make a
Catherine
mistake.
Zeta-Jones, she did
Still a
spinning the
crime.
lasers. Ooh.
Anyways, so yeah, 45 minutes into it, I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm having a fun time. Christopher Judge came out and, had a pretty good little ditty at the beginning. Said some stuff about Call of Duty that people were a little tangled about, but otherwise, like a pretty strong intro to the show. And then just slowly but surely the realization of, oh man, they're really not giving these developers a lot of time to say anything. Oh man, there's that countdown timer in the back that says, please wrap it up when they get to the end. They're playing that really obnoxious wrap it up song whenever they speak too long. People are getting real emotional on stage and they're shuffling them off. And like, here's the thing. Great reveals at this show. Absolutely amazing reveals that we will definitely get into. But it just got to a point towards the end where it just was too much. It felt like going to a very mediocre buffet with occasionally really, really good lobster bisque and being like, man, this is all good, but I just need to just stop marathoning through all this shit and actually get some good quality content. And that good quality content being developers coming on stage and being able to speak their heart out and, speak honestly about the current situation and, things that are currently ailing the industry. And we just did not really get a lot of that. I will say real quick, the Game Awards has never been immune to criticism. I distinctly remember in years prior, logging off from watching the Game Awards, being really satisfied with it, going to Twitter and seeing people be like, the Game Awards is an abomination upon our industry. It is just a mark that we must wipe from the surface of the earth and just send it into the sun like Superman and Superman 4. I don't think they said exactly that, but you get the sentiment. And in years past, I've been like, yeah, certainly there are things to be upset about. Things like Jeff Keighley speedrunning through a bunch of announcements is something that has been characteristic of many prior Game Awards in the past, for example. But overall, like, I was pretty positive on years prior. This year felt like a genuine step down. This year felt like the not great show that a lot of people have made it out to be in years past. And yeah, bummer note, but
I agree with you, especially on the point about, I feel like this show has a little bit of an identity crisis. Like, it wants to be an award show to celebrate games that came out, but right now it feels like it is more in service of celebrating the announcements of things that are to come. And I have a secret Discord where a couple of my friends were actually in the audience at the Game Awards, and they were like, it was really cool to hear the developers in the audience like cheering and shouting when their game finally gets revealed, to like hear that moment and have them celebrate all as a team. And I was like, that does sound cool, and like it's a cool experience to have all together, but also like we should be having those same things for the people who are winning the awards. Like, that's what we're here for. Like, and so yeah, it feels more like it's a in service 100. I'd say it's weighted 85 in the direction of, here are new things that we're going to tease you, like E3 2.0, and then 15% let's actually celebrate. And part of the evidence of that is, like, you saw all of these people, like you said, the person who won best performance in Baldur's Gate 3, who's like giving this really amazing speech about how he's like seeing yourself represented and that like you're not alone and all that kind of stuff while he's being, metaphorically shuffled off stage. But and then you only really have the time. I think Neil Druckmann gave the most succinct speech that fit in the time limit without the music, and it was just strictly an objective. Thank you to Sony because you helped pay for this game. Thank you to the team because you helped make this game. Thank you to the people over here that you helped make this show. And it's like, let me just thank all the people who paid money for the show. That's all we have time to say goodbye. And that feels so transactional that it's not even worth getting up on stage to say it. Like we're there to hear the stories of the developers and why they're passionate about this and how what this means to them. And there was not opportunity to do that. So, and at the same time, I think it was maybe Barrett Courtney on Twitter. Somebody said it on Twitter, and they were like, "Oh, Andy Cortez. I watched the show, and it was 3 hours and 37 minutes, and like." I would have been totally fine with watching an extra 15 minutes to hear some of these developers say something. And like that's not a huge deal in the time span that we ended up wasting on the not wasting, sorry. The time span we ended up putting into the show.
I wish it was
But
actually Baby Barrett Courtney because I was going to say cherubic Barrett Courtney is what we should call him now.
holding a fiery sword at the gates of Eden.
At the gates of heaven, let them know what's up. Yeah, I'm with you guys. The show just feels. I mean, the show's always felt a little bit long, so it is what it is. I would like for more people to have the chance to talk. I think 30 seconds is a bit small. Maybe an hour, or not an hour to talk. Fucking, that's way too much. Maybe like a minute and a half.
I did
or whatever.
appreciate though that it seemed I didn't obviously sit there with a stopwatch and time it, but it did seem like they gave folks who were speaking English with a translator on stage extra time because
Mhm.
obviously we have to say the thing twice in order for you to hear it. So I did appreciate that. I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah. I will just to play devil's advocate. Not really, but
Hmm.
like, yes, people should talk more. And Keeley said that they should have more time to talk. He didn't. He took the criticism about the music coming on too early. But it's also like, I mean, Jeff Keighley has done it for 10 years and he's trying to run a show, and this is the way that it runs, like reveals and celebrities are what brings the people in and gets the viewer
Yeah.
numbers. I mean, it sucks for the people who make them, obviously, because we like to hear more, but this is also the man who's doing it by himself for 10 years. So I think he knows what he's doing. But hopefully he takes the criticism and gets a balance because he does need to pay the bills and he does need to drum hype. Also let people be like, hey, I like doing this thing with these people I like, and it meant something to me.
He
There's like
does listen to criticism.
there.
Remember when somebody called him out and said, "Hey, you had no female presenters at whatever it was, Summer Game Fest," and then
Mhm.
opening night live, he's like, "Everyone's a female now." So
Yeah.
he
All of
takes
them.
criticism.
Sydney's
well
here the
and
whole time, which
adapts.
was cool to see that Sydney
Yep.
was there.
I will also say, I don't remember which website this was, but there was a great Eurogamer article that was sort of summarizing a lot of the issues that people had with the Game Awards this past week, kind of summarizing them all into this one concise article. And fuck, I lost my train of thought because my dad's like, "Hey, let me show you the cat from off screen." Come on, man. Anyways, what I was trying to say is towards the end of the article, I remember the writer of the article talked about how, there are a lot of people out there saying that the Game Awards should strive to be more like the Oscars, that they should strive to have like an actual like body of professionals that are that collaborate together to create like as authentic of an award show as possible instead of like Jeff Keighley seemingly running the whole thing and basing how it should go off of his own whims and desires. And like it's easy to forget that like the Oscars itself kind of has an identity crisis seemingly every year. Seemingly every year there's some sort of issue that people take with the Oscars, the way that it's run, the way that it does or doesn't properly represent the breadth of films that are released throughout the year. And so like I think it's a little bit perhaps unfair to like look to the film industry and be like, well, see, clearly in the film industry they do it so much better. Like whatever the video game equivalent of what the Oscars is not going to be the Oscars. And I think that that's something that we should probably all get a little bit more on board with. But even all that said, like they definitely can do better by this show.
I'd say award shows are hard, and if you think you do better, do it yourself. Oh, you're not going to. Okay, let Keeley do better next time. But yeah,
I'd
no
also
fair
wager that
criticisms.
we are probably in the very, 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 very small minority that actually do know the developers by name and and are curious about how they felt and all that kind of stuff. Whereas everyone else is like, go to Google, who won Game of the Year this year? Cool. That justifies why I
What are the
bought
cool
it.
trailers? Let me check that out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's probably just like a TikTok video that's like 2 minutes long. I'm like, here's the cool shit that happened. That's probably 80% of people watching. But anyways, is there stuff you guys want to talk about? I have one. I just want to get it out the way. I'm gonna again. We have a list in front of us.
Mm.
You guys want to talk about stuff? That's cool. I'm just starting from the top of the list and going down, just to keep my train of thought in mind. I don't care about Monster Hunter, so I'll move on unless you guys want to talk about it. But for me, this whole Kojima thing, right? I
Yeah.
know because fucking Jeff Keighley and he wants Kojima inside of him so bad, like that's his
Mhm.
best buddy. He wants to live with him. He wants to breathe his skin. And they were showing the thing. I'm like,
Breathe his skin.
he wants to be in that man. That one went on for a very long time. Again, Kojima has a translator. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
But he did ask him like 17 questions. I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
Keighley, let's chill. I know it's your buddy. But again, Kojima talked about this Xbox game called OD, horror game, whatever. I was like, cool. I don't really care. I don't like Kojima games normally. A horror one, definitely not going to work. Then Jordan Peele came out. I was like, huh, well, maybe. I probably still won't play it, but I will say Jordan Peele collaborating on a video game is probably one of the hypest things that happened at the awards show. Again, probably still not going to play it because I don't like that man's games normally, but you have me intrigued with your collaborator friend over there, I will say.
I do feel like for this one in particular, at first I was like, oh shit, this is the team up of team ups. This is wild. This is amazing. And then the comment that made me think, oh, maybe it's not what we think it is when Kojima was like, oh yeah, this is just one of many other collaborators. Like, it's not just Jordan. We've got a bunch of other people that were, it was like, oh, is this going to be like Death Stranding, where like, oh, Conan O'Brien shows up for 4 seconds as an AI, as a CG person to give you a quest about taking, I don't know, vitamins to the dump, and so is that the extent of Jordan Peele's involvement in this one, and we just have a bunch of other people doing that kind of shit? So I don't know. I don't get I personally do not get the feeling from that statement that Jordan Peele has like a heavy influence on the direction of this game or anything like that.
It was a fun reveal, and I look forward to eventually playing it whenever it comes out. I will say that trailer not exactly as enjoyable to replay as, say, the reveal trailer for Death Stranding or Death Stranding 2 for that matter. So yeah, don't really have much to say until we get something of substance about it.
For you video people, I just did the whole trailer for OD. Just really close
Video
up.
people saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, really close up on your eye and scary. The door opened. Anyways. Yeah, so is there any other stuff you guys again, we can just go down this list if you want to.
As I
and pick
mentioned
out
at the
stuff
top,
that's interesting.
Pony Island 2 Panda Circus looks
Mhm.
great. Man, at the very end of the trailer, they like basically kind of like flash between a couple of different dates. It goes like 2024, 2025, 2026. If this game is coming out all the way in 2026, that is disappointing. But I mean, I understand, really wanting to polish a game like this until it's where you want it to be.
And that's one man, right? Is he always just done everything by himself?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Daniel Mullins. I feel
Yeah.
like
Dude has no friends.
just makes video
I
games.
cannot convince anyone to work with him.
I will say the other game, like obviously there are a few other things that stood out to me, but like the other game that stood out to me the most was the new game from Don't Nod, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. A little while ago, the three of us all reviewed Life is Strange True Colors here on Respawning Fire as part of our monthly barf, and I think we all kind of walked away from it being like, decent, not that great. And I especially, as somebody who really enjoyed the original Life is Strange and Life is Strange Season 2, which were both done by Don't Nod, I especially was like, man, they handed it off to another studio, and this other studio really didn't do great by the series. I'm looking forward to eventually seeing the king come back to roost, and if Lost Records Bloom and Rage lives up to the like level of promise that trailer showed, this could be it. This could be the true Life is Strange 3 that I wanted out of True Colors but didn't get.
I have 4 things that I wanted to mention. The first being like, I was really impressed with the amount of kind of shadow dropped content that was thrown out, like the God of War Ragnarok, not Valheim.
It was called Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Valhalla, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valhalla coming out literally like tomorrow or Tuesday, and then the Alan Wake 2 update with New Game Plus and new story content and a new ending coming out tomorrow as we record this. And then even the shit, what was the third one? Final Fantasy 16 having a DLC package coming out that night as well. Like that was I was like, "Oh shit, that's a lot of really great things from a lot of great games that I love playing that like I can play in the next few days." So I was impressed by those and Jurassic Park. I felt the I was not as impressed with most of the trailer because it just like, here's a pretty trailer about playing all the same moments from Jurassic Park 1, the movie, but as a different character you're unfamiliar with. But then at
Yeah.
the end, as they started showing gameplay, I was like, oh, this looks like different stuff. Maybe
My
that was all
thing
just to like rope you in with nostalgia.
My thing with the Jurassic Park franchise in general, not just the games, but also like factoring in the movies as well, is it feels like every new release in that franchise is like, hey guys, we heard you had some issues with the last one. Don't worry. Don't worry. We figured it out for this one. We finally have delivered a truly great Jurassic Park experience that lives up to the greatness of the original Steven Spielberg directed movie, and it just never hits. It never quite hits. Some of them come
Yeah.
closer than others, but yeah, I don't know. This could be cool, but like I'm not holding my breath until the reviews come out.
That's a great idea,
Yeah.
though. Survival game where you're in Jurassic Park getting hunted. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that could be really cool.
yeah.
And then two other things. Actually, no, just this is the last one thing. Like the thing that really surprisingly impressed me the most was not Matthew McConaughey's game.
All right, all
It was
right, all
not
right.
Skull and Bones coming out the day before my birthday, apparently. It was not Arcane Studios talking about Marvel's Blade and how they might screw
Blade.
this one up. It was Hello Games Light No Fire.
It's gonna be good.
And so there's
Oh, the
this
Earth game.
very interesting world about just basically an alternate fantasy Earth that is an entire planet that you as a community can all just like go and explore and ride dragons around and it's all procedurally generated and it's just literally a planet that everyone's just I will never play this game and I will find no joy in doing it if someone forces me to, but it was still the most impressive thing to me. So yeah, very very impressed by Hello Games.
Yeah, I mean the fact again, we all know the story about how No Man's Sky started, but that game, if you play it now, it's fucking wild. It is amazing. And the fact these 12 people are like, okay, take everything we did for the universe and let's just do it on a planet now. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I just trust them now. I don't care what it was like fucking 7 years ago. That game is amazing now. So make one that's just one planet and it's all of that stuff you have in the universe, but in one place. Sounds like it's gonna be good. I'm
Yeah.
down for that. I will say I am excited for Blade. Again, that game's probably 3 or 4 years off, but it is the good Arcane studio. It's not the Redfall studio. It's the people who made Dishonored and Deathloop. Redfall is from Arcane
Okay. So
Austin.
they've got a 50% track record.
Well, no, because chat. Everyone
Deathloop was
but
good.
you.
Dishonored had way too big of hands though.
Yeah, I know
And
everyone.
we all know Blade is a vampire and they have traditionally human-sized hands. So
Yes, yeah, I'm
let's
sure
hope they get that right.
I'm sure they'll figure that out. But no, uh, M-rated single player Blade game sounds fucking amazing. I'm really excited for that. I don't know how this will turn out, but we figured out what new energy, new era, whatever the fuck Sega said. Where it's
Oh,
just
ooh,
being
yep.
like, bringing back Jet
Oh
Set,
wow,
Shinobi,
we
Golden
didn't
Axe,
even
Streets
talk
of Rage,
about
Crazy
this.
Taxi.
Yeah, like
I'm excited for new Jet Set. That could be cool. That's about the only one I care about. The other ones, I'm like, we'll see, I suppose. But I do like Jet Set. Radio Future, I think, is the one that I played a lot of, which I really dig.
I don't care about any of these.
I don't care about 4 of the 5. I'll tell you that. Crazy Tech, I don't know. Not in 2027 or whenever that game comes out. I probably won't care about Crazy Taxi. But Jet Set's cool. And then let me scroll down. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. No Rest for the Wicked, the game from Ori and the Blind Forest people, could be cool. They're making a Diablo game from the Ori team. Could be all right. And then the last one was where was it at? Oh yeah, down here. Windblown was in the pre-show, which is what it is. But that's the one where like it was like the 3 little anime guys who got cut in half and shit by the robot and then got murdered. But it's from the people who made Dead Cells, and it's just like they're making a Hades like where it's 3D top down kind of a thing co-op. And I'm like, well, fucking Dead Cells is amazing, and these guys haven't made a new game in like 8 years, so I'm down for that because Dead Cells is legitimately fucking amazing. So that looks cool. On top of the other stuff we've already talked about, and I guess everyone keep out an eye on the Rise of the Golden Idol because apparently those McElroy brothers fucking love the first Golden Idol game. So apparently it's good. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, that's some of the cool announcements. Was there anything else before we go on to our segment and figure out who gets punished?
Oh, I thought it was interesting. This was like, I feel like it's the year of the team ups where so like Dredge and fuck, what was the other game?
Dredge and Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver, yeah, Dredge and Dave the Diver having some kind of like joint DLC or in-game experience or something. I don't know what it is. Some kind of crossover there. And then also seeing Supermassive Games, who makes the, Until Dawn
The
and makes the Dark
Quarry.
Pictures games, The Quarry, teaming up with the Dead by Daylight folks for that other new game. I was like, oh, that's a cool, yeah, The Casting of Frank Stone is the name of the game. Like that. It's like, oh, that's an interesting. Those are two people who work well together. So I'm just genuinely curious what ends up coming out of that team up.
Now, we're not doing it because we did it last week, but last week we ranked all the One More Thing last trailer moments or whatever. How'd you feel about this Monster Hunter Wilds trailer? I guess Cozy and Chad.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Well, here's the thing. Monster Hunter World was very popular. I feel like this game will be very popular. The trailer, it was like it showed us gameplay, like them running from the thing, the guys tumbled over each other, then it had a vista. I think it makes it at least like a Jeff Worthy or Midley or whatever we did. It's either B or C tier. I'm not excited
I know
about it,
I'm
but it
not.
was a solid trailer.
I know I'm not normally the person to be like, ugh, those graphics, but like, it was hard not to notice how not amazing the game looked as it was airing live. Like maybe that was like a stream issue or something or other, but like my thought was like, game looks more like a pretty souped up PS4 game, not like something that you could really like push with like the PS5's like high level processing power.
That's
It
just what
didn't
Monster Hunter
really.
looks like.
I know, but
Yeah.
like this is Capcom's opportunity to be like, hey, we know that you think you know what Monster Hunter looks like. Now look at this. But it didn't do that.
Is it I've yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly not interested in the Monster Hunter series. I played one for a little bit on PSP. I tried Monster Hunter World when it was free on Game Pass, and it was like so many systems and so obtuse, and I had no idea what was going on, and I hated every minute of it. And so yeah, immediately as I saw the big monster chasing the other monster, I was like, oh, this is a Monster Hunter thing, and I just like thought about soup for a second instead, and so
What
I
kind of
couldn't tell
soup?
you. I don't know, it's probably like clam chowder. And then
Okay.
I thought, "Oh god, this thing reminds me of clam chowder, and I hate them both." And that was
I'll
it.
say C tier or midly or whatever because it wasn't someone talking about it for 8 minutes off screen. So I think it gets a bump over Breath of the Wild's fucking uh, Game Awards thing. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to segment. Oh wait, I can't say it. Chad has to say it.
Segment from Adam, segment from Adam, segment from Adam, segment from Adam. That was we did that one recently. Damn it.
Do
So good.
do it to the final countdown theme.
Segment from Adam. 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 That's it. That's all you're getting.
I think it's a different song, but I like it. You'll go with that,
Oh, is
Chad.
that?
It's the
Oh, Final
final
Countdown.
countdown.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
What was the one I was
I
singing?
don't know. I like it though. Go top. Anyways, good lord, what's going on? So we did Game Award predictions, right? And unlike
Mhm.
everyone else's Game Award predictions, this one had real stakes. I owed a debt to a devil. Is it the
Yeah.
lady from Drag Me to Hell? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we decided to do our prediction guessing game, and whoever did worse has to pay my debt. Why did that happen? Because I make the rules because I won last year. It is what it is. That's how it goes. So we'll go top to bottom, and I'm going to count these as we go. So in our first couple of categories, they were a little weird. I wasn't just pick the winners, but here we go. Guess a publisher that wins best percentage of their awards. I chose From Software. They were in one category, so I know I had one shot to get 100%. They did win best action game. Cozy chose CD Projekt Red, and Chad chose Epic. Both of those did not reach 100%.
Bob Saget.
You guys did the smart thing though by giving yourself more chances. Because if they didn't win, I would have been screwed. But
Yeah.
I gambled and I
Who
won.
who came in second place, me or Cozy, in this particular category?
Let's see. CD Project Red and Epic. CD Project Red had what, 4 nominations and they won 1, so I think you would have beaten them because you had Alan Wake won so many of them. I think you were like
Okay. Cool,
40 or
cool,
50
cool,
something
cool, cool.
percent. Yeah, yeah.
That's all I need.
Very cool, very cool. All
Not be
right.
last.
Well, we'll see. Technically, there's only 1 winner in that category. It only counts for 1 point because I'm the one who got it right. That's what I mean. All right. Guess one surprise winner. We had to agree that this person was an underdog, and then they would win it. Chad had Jedi Survivor winning action adventure. Did not happen.
Wah, wah.
Cozy had Dave the Diver winning best indie. Did not happen. Adam chose Cyberpunk 2077 winning best ongoing game. It did happen.
It's almost like Adam created the game, and therefore Adam's winning at the game.
I gave you guys every opportunity. Again, did you
Uh-huh,
maybe make a deal with the devil? Did you
We need
play
to
a game
hire
with
a
the devil?
third-party service to come and do an audit of your operating procedure.
Erica, what's going on? Do you want to come do this third party thing? All right, next up. So that's 2 points for Adam, 0 points for you guys. Next up, name an announcement / surprise. It could have been a game, a trailer, guest, musical performance, didn't matter. Chad said Halo stuff would happen. It did not happen. It happened 2 days before when they had a big announcement about stuff. Alex, I'm sorry for you. This one hurts personally. He said anything about Metroid Prime. It didn't exist, buddy.
Mm,
That
damn.
game
Yeah,
is not a real
wasn't
thing.
even you didn't even have a Nintendo executive showing up with like a Metroid pin. No mention of Metroid whatsoever. There was even that one guy and showed off that one game. Fuck, I don't want to get it wrong. It was like that one Metroidvania game that is like inspired by like
Oh, the African inspired one?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
came up
I
on
can't remember
stage and was like, "Yeah, I used to love playing games like fuck the Golden Sun." He's like, I love
Oh, yeah,
Golden
yeah.
Sun, and I love. He named like some other obscure Nintendo game, and it's like you named those 2 games, and yet you made a Metroidvania game, and you didn't even mention Metroid. Come on.
He's doing his
You know,
own
I
thing.
had friends from a secret Discord who were at the in
This is a
attendance, and
this is
they
a text
said
message. It's Jericho
it's a text
texting
message
you.
thread. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they said that at the door you were vaporized if you even had anything that resembled Metroid anything on your person. So yeah,
Damn.
just vaporized with a laser beam.
Wow.
They do not exist. The only thing that happened for Nintendo was Doug Bowser making a joke about his own last name. But that was pretty funny. I did like it. Adam guessed that Baldur's Gate 3 would get Shadow released on Xbox this weekend. It happened during the show. Baldur's
Oh,
Gate
did it
3 was
really? I
on it.
missed that. Okay.
It did. Absolutely. So Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate
right,
3.
right, Cozy. I feel like this is unfairly in Adam's favor.
Did I not give you the opportunity to make your own guesses?
Well, maybe you had inside information.
That's what it was. No, I
What's
will
going
be
on in your secret discords that we're not allowed to know about?
all right.
Huh?
I will be mad at Greg Miller for being like Kojima's going to be there with Jordan Peele. It's like he fucking
I was
did
gonna
that
say
shit.
this is what it sounds like. This is like the respawning fire version of that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I wish I had that much pull. Anyway, so that's Adam 3 for 0, but that's fine. You just need to not come in last place. That's all that really matters here, right? So now we're doing our single choice prediction where each person got to pick a category and pick one winner from it. Other people couldn't do it.
Oh, I know I got my esports thing.
Chad did choose Valorant as best esports game, and he did get it correct. Throw a point up for Chad. Content creator of the year, Alex chose Iron Mouse. You got it, buddy. Don't know who it is, but you got it correct because you like those little weeb girls, don't you?
Like I said on that podcast, it was the only name looking at that list that was like, oh, that's a name that I have heard of as somebody who hasn't even like seen any of the people on this list. That and People Make Games, but I don't think that People Make Games is going to win it.
Yeah, very cool. And then esports event, I chose the League of Legends World Championship. That one did win. Next up, these are different categories. Well, chose Adam best fighting game Street Fighter 6. I got that one correct. There we go.
We get it. Like, you can stop reading your stuff.
I gotta keep saying them. Best sports game. Chad chose EAFC and it went to Forza Motorsports.
Butts.
And then best family game, Alex chose Super Mario Wonder, and it did win. And that's when Doug Bowser made the joke. Maybe it was earlier in the day.
That
Doug
was
Bowser
his
made a
only
joke
appearance,
request.
so it must
Okay.
have been then.
Must have been this one. All right. Next up, best RPG. Chad chose Baldur's Gate 3. Good choice. You got it. Correct. Good job for Chad. Best action game. Adam chose Armor Core 6. It won best action game. Another point for Adam. Am I actually doing perfect on these?
Yes, yes, yes.
Best action adventure, Alex chose Tears of the Kingdom. You got that correct. That is the one award that game won. Good job for you, Alex. So everyone hit it out of the park. Next up, this is when everyone guessed the big categories. Best indie game overall. We all chose Cocoon. None of us got it right. It's a big 0 for everybody. It's tough.
Guess you're not perfect.
You're right. I'm
Adam.
technically not perfect. I'm just close as a cherub can be. Best debut indie. I chose Cocoon. Alex chose Dredge. Chad chose Vemba. Cocoon won. That's another point for Adam. Interesting. Best narrative. Adam chose Baldur's Gate 3. Alex and Chad chose Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 did win. So this is one of the 2 speeches. Shout out to Sam Lake for getting to have 2 speeches for the night and having to perform on the stage. So good for Sam Lake having a time. Best direction. Adam chose Alan Wake. Chad chose Alan Wake. Alex chose Tears of the Kingdom. Went to Alan Wake 2. So that's a point for Adam and Chad. And then for
Does that
Game of
mean
the
Cozy
Year.
and I are tied now?
Yes, you are. And then for Game of the Year, we all chose Baldur's Gate 3. So we all get a
Damn.
point.
Oh no!
So
do
what
we have
happened
a
here?
tiebreaker?
Adam has 9 points. Alex has 4. Chad has 4. So this is a conundrum. I mean, here's what it is. I'm truly the winner. That's all that really matters here. Now,
Well, you were the winner no matter what, because no matter what, your debt gets shifted to somebody else.
well, not if I lost, then it would have been me. So we'll have to figure it out. You guys are going to have to make another deal with another devil to how you split the first deal with the devil that you now owe. So now you guys are working for 2 devils, splitting up multiple debts across multiple deals for 2 devils. You guys
This is
enjoy
too
that.
much math. I gotta be honest
It
with
is.
you.
Here, let's make it simple. Let's cut our bodies in half horizontally, and we'll put one of the tops of us on one of the bottoms of us, and we'll
Yeah.
send that person to pay the debt, and then the other 2 will remain as individuals.
I call top. I would call that immediately if I were you. But yeah, there we go. I did the best. You guys tied for worst.
There we go.
We'll have to see what happens next year. I get to pick the terms of the service again. So we'll see what happens.
Great.
But that is,
I look forward to losing alongside you again, Chad.
well, there was only
Cozy,
one loser last year.
do you, before we move on to GOGS,
Mhm.
you said you had like one other like segment
I
thing
did,
to do? Do you
but
wanna do this?
I
No?
feel like we're running a little bit later than expected. Even though going into the podcast we said, oh, we only need to talk about Game Awards. We've talked quite a bit. So you know what? I'm going to shift the segment I had planned to a future podcast. It's somewhat tied to the Game Awards, but not so much that I feel like we can't slot it into a future episode. So we will skip over that and head to Game on Game Show.
Game on Game Show, the Game on our Game Show. We play a game called Game On, the gaming show on our game show. Game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for TMI with NPD for the year 2007. Chad has already lost to Adam once this podcast. Will he lose him again?
It hurts.
Or will he potentially achieve a long-deserved victory? It would be his second victory on this show. So we'll see what's going to happen.
And we've done from 1995 up until 2007.
Yeah.
I won some of the 90s, okay?
I think you've won 1, maybe 2 at best.
I think you won.
All right,
You
Brian,
definitely
we need
you won a couple of years
Manly
ago.
Brian, go back and find out Archivist and
And
let me know how many of these I've won.
You definitely won another episode in the 90s, but it's been a minute. Been a minute.
We all
Shut up.
knew, though, as soon as we were getting into the Call of Duties and the Forzas and the Maddens and the Jello and the pudding,
Madden's been
that's
there
when
the
I was going
entire
to
time.
start.
Man's been there the entire time.
All right, let's go over the rules. The Chadlock is still in play.
Wait. Because I am a man of honor and integrity,
Yes.
I feel like I do need to disclose to our audience
Uh-oh.
that I have accidentally seen the answer key. However,
You
it
did.
was for a split second. It was not of my own doing. It was Cozy sent it to me on accident and didn't unsend it. And then I asked him to retract it. All I literally can remember, and you have to trust me on this, is that Madden was on it. And I'm sure that the results will still play in the same way they would have had I not seen it. So
I accept your admission of potential wrongdoing, and we will proceed with the show as normal.
Oh, I did not admit to wrongdoing. I admitted to seeing what you put in front of me.
He just
Well,
lawyered the shit out of you. Oh, mother, your client admitted to it.
I suppose we'll let the show in
Objection.
front of us. We'll let the show in front of us be the judge. The rules: the Chad lock is still in play, which means that if 2 clues into an entry on the list, Chad, you think you know what it is, you can say Chad lock, and you have exclusive right to guess from there on out whether or not you think you know what it is, and Adam cannot intervene. Rule number 2: Madden is out of play, which means that up front, I'm going to tell you that Madden NFL 08 is in the second spot on this list. And when we get to that as we go down, we will say where it is, and nobody will be able to vote on it, because I am frankly sick and tired of having you guys guess where it's located on these lists. Are we ready?
And for clarification, 2007 is 360's been out for a year already. PS3 launched this year, or like late last year.
Actually, both the Wii and PS3
launched.
released the last year in the fall of
okay.
2006.
So 1 year of Wii and PS3, 2 years of 360.
Correct.
Cool.
All right, here we go. Number 11. The number 11 best-selling game of the year 2007 in the United States, per the NPD Group, is a Nintendo game that released the year prior. It was the first entry within its series that allowed players to interact with each other over Wi-Fi.
Zelda Animal Crossing.
Zelda Animal Crossing is incorrect.
Pokemon Black and White?
That is incorrect. Its title contains a precious object, typically created deep within the earth at very
Pokemon
high...
Diamond and Pearl.
Butts.
Pokemon Diamond. If it's only one. I don't know if they combine them or not, so I'll say Pokemon
I'm going to
Diamond.
give you a half point for that. The correct answer is Pokemon Diamond, because
Do they not combine them?
Because your second answer was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, I will give you a half point for that. And no, they are not combined, in fact.
Okay.
We will more on that later.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Also, if you're like officially, like, how do they refer to these things? They're always, even like Sword and Shield, it's Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, or Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Like, they call them both Pokemons.
Gotcha.
Pokemon.
The number 10
Pokemans.
best-selling game of the year 2007, per the NPD Group, is a Nintendo published game developed by Hudson Soft. Despite being the 12th best-selling game on the Wii, it received many mixed reviews at the time of its release.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl?
That is incorrect. Its franchise's 9th numbered entry would only launch 5 years after this game. And
Mario Party 8?
that is correct.
Whoa!
Which means that for the
didn't know
first
that
time in a
high.
long time, Chad is actually ahead of Adam, albeit by only 0.5 points. All right.
Still win.
Number 9. The number 9 best-selling game of the year 2007, per the NPD Group, is yet another Nintendo game. How Nintendo's fortunes have changed coming out of the GameCube era. So many Nintendo
Wii
games
was
to go
popular,
around.
baby.
Yeah. At the time of its closure in 2019, it was
Pokemon Pearl.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
It was the highest rated game of all time on the review aggregating site Game Rankings. Its hub world is a space
Super Mario
station.
Galaxy.
That is correct.
Mm.
There we go. Chad's a little bit
Bam,
ahead. Gotta say. Doing good,
got me.
Chad.
Chad,
All right.
check your text messages.
And I gave so much of myself to the debt that now I feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm more agile. and
Asterisk and
quicker.
asterisk going next to this when you looked at the answer key. But all right, go ahead. Go for it.
All right.
My text message just says, she's in.
Oh, cool. Nice to know.
Hell
And then I
yeah.
have a text message from you that has a dog in motion jumping on a Spider-Man leg.
Yeah.
People at home are like, what the hell are they talking about?
Secret text messages.
Number 8.
I also have a notification saying, Adam Gumby liked my Twitter post saying, it can't be me. I'll never financially recover if it's me. I didn't get any other text messages from you.
Number 8. The number 8th best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is a game that prior to its release was heralded by many outlets as its generation's first truly next-gen experience. Its open world was infamous for featuring a variety of mundane side activities,
Infamous.
such as collecting flags. That is incorrect. It's a game.
Assassin's Creed 2?
That is incorrect.
Hmm.
It's a game developed primarily by Ubisoft Montreal.
Assassin's Creed?
That is correct.
Bam. What? Oh, yeah. Chicken cheese tender biscuit.
Adam's getting, I can sense Adam's getting a little bit concerned for
Oh
his
no.
standing.
How will I ever recover?
Yeah, he's texting somebody thinking it's me. He's obviously like he's a
All right.
little distressed.
Number 7. The number 7th best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is the first entry in its series. The base version of this game cost $170 when it first released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 this year. It was developed by the studio.
Rock Band?
That is correct.
Mm.
Now I'm
them
beginning to get a little bit suspicious. Chat said
I swear to God.
that he...
No, you just said, like, what cost that much money as a base edition? I was like, something with peripherals.
Interesting.
All right, here we go. Number 6. The number 6th best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is a game developed by Nintendo EAD. It's a game that allows you to race other players while riding cows. Its name can probably be also found as a category on some porn sites, speaking frankly.
MILF.
And you'll probably want to consult the first installment we did of Locked and Loaded because it's the best-selling Wii game never packaged with the console.
We play.
I'll give you both of it. It was literally, like, you literally said it in unison, so I'll give you
One of
both
us
a
knew the
point
answer
on board.
beforehand and one of us didn't. So.
Well, one of us said it on my end much sooner than Adam said it.
No
I
way.
won't say who said it sooner than
It was
Adam
literally
said
the
it,
exact
but
same
one of
time.
us did.
Literally the exact same time.
So, yeah, Chad has a total of 5 points, and Adam has 1.5 points.
Cat's a big wiener.
And with that, we are heading into number 5. The number 5 best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is an Xbox game. The first half of its story takes place in and around Kenya.
Halo 3.
That is correct. All right.
I did not know that was in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes place around New Mombasa. Modern day Mombasa is in Kenya, so Kenya it is.
Mufasa.
All right, number 4. The number 4th best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is a game directed by Jason West. It's a multi-platform game that during this era was more closely associated with Xbox compared to PlayStation.
Mass Effect.
Whoa, guys, I think Chad's having a stroke.
I was trying to decide as I was saying it. I was like, it was 1 on the last year, or is this 2? Is this 3? Is it Mass Effect?
That is incorrect.
Food.
As if acknowledging this fact, the game's box art is very green.
Orange box?
That is incorrect. Also, I'm pretty sure that Orange Box's box art is very orange.
I just thought you were trying to be
Very
funny.
orange.
Thought you were trying to be funny here.
And it received a modern-day reboot in 2019.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
That is correct.
I'm shocked it's not number
Bam!
one. I'm really shocked it's not number one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
got to
forgot,
start
that
somewhere.
they were more. That it wasn't until the PS3 era that
Well, this is the one that
everything-
blew up.
or
So I'm assuming
yeah,
after this, they'll
PS4
probably
era that they started making exclusive deals with PlayStation instead of Xbox.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. The number 3 best-selling game of the year 2007 per the MPD Group is a game that originally released on the PlayStation 2 the year prior, before coming
God
God
of
of
War
War
3.
2.
That is incorrect.
Hmm.
And that is, one guess off for the two of you. It's a game that released on the PlayStation 2 the year prior, before coming to the Xbox 360 in April of this year. If you just let me speak a few more words, you wouldn't have made that mistake. At E3 2006, it received the Game Critics Award for, and I quote, Best Puzzle/Trivia/Parlor Game. It features the songs Possum Kingdom and John the Fisherman, and it was developed by the same talent that made the 7th entry on this list.
I don't remember who the fuck that
Shit,
is.
what was 7?
I'll speed run through the clues again.
Zelda Animal Crossing.
The third best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is a game that originally released on the PlayStation 2 the year prior, before coming to the Xbox 360 in April of 2007. At E3 2006, it received the Game Critics Award for, and I quote, Best Puzzle/Trivia/Parlor Game. Almost as if they didn't really know what category to put it into. It features the songs Possum Kingdom and John the Fisherman, and it was developed...
Is it Guitar
Guitar
Hero
Hero
3?
2?
Sorry, Adam, what did you say?
I said 2. Guitar Hero 2.
I said Guitar Hero 3,
Adam is correct.
but
Puzzle/Parlor Game. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. All right. Number 2 is Madden NFL 08. Adam, can you tell me who is on the cover of this one?
Oh,
you won't get
8.
your points.
I know it doesn't. Is that a Brett Favre one?
I actually don't know myself.
Oh,
Hold on.
Lord. Okay, well, never mind. I'll look it up in a second. I think
Yeah.
that's the Brett Favre version, but I might be wrong.
All right, here we go. Number 1, the first...
Or Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Vince
There we go.
Vince Younger. Yeah.
The number 1 best-selling game of the year 2007 per the NPD Group is a multi-platform game that released on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, and PC. The full sleep, they call it. It is the third entry in its series. It is related to another game.
Guitar Hero 3?
That is correct. It is Guitar Hero 3.
Nice.
Which means that in this top 10 list, you have Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero 2, and Rock Band.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was my freshman year of college. Was this year, and I remember 3 and Rock Band being fucking huge.
And
That's why I was surprised when 2 was on the list.
that brings us to the end of TMI with NPD for the year 2007. Congratulations to Chad, who may or may not have won this round via illicit screen snooping means, but hell yeah, you won it all the same. So shout out to that. Some other highlights from the list. Earlier on, we revealed that Pokemon Diamond was at the number 11th spot. Pokemon Pearl at the number 17th spot. I'm assuming probably a gendered thing where a lot of boys were like, I don't want to pick up Pokemon Pearl, but obviously
Not until they're older.
The games are basically the same, so there's no real reason to prefer one over the other. At the number 14th slot, I just thought this one was interesting. World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade expansion pack.
That's fucking wild.
Previously,
Expansion was number 14.
yeah, none of World of Warcraft's expansions, or even World of Warcraft itself, or wait a minute, no, I think World of Warcraft itself might have been on a previous list, but none of the other expansions showed up except for this one, so that's cool. At the number 15 spot, Spider-Man 3, the video game based on the hit movie that did not reach the same heights as Spider-Man 2. And at number 18th, Transformers the game based on the hit Michael Bay movie.
I had that game. Very bad.
Wah, wah. And that is TMI with NPD.
Thank you very much. That is it for Game On Game Show, and that is it for episode 335 of Respawn Aim Fire. Very important thing. If you are a patron and you opted into the physical holiday something that you might be getting via the United States Postal Service, or the United States Postal Service hands off to the Canadian Post,
Post.
or whatever you all call it. Be on the lookout. Those are sent out. They were sent out last week. So, to be honest, mail is weird, and I don't understand how it works, and how you calculate what a stamp is worth, and how many stamps you put on a thing, and how you weigh it and measure it. I am pretty sure I overput the number of stamps that are necessary for these things to go out. But I'm still kind of nervous that they'll get returned to sender for not having the right postage on them. So, if you get it, we would love for you to tweet a picture of whatever you got and say, thanks, Respawn Aim Fire, happy holidays, whatever, just as a way to let me know that it did, in fact, get there, and I don't have all of these sitting in my mailbox at home in San Jose for the next 3 weeks. So, go do that. Again, if you are also a patron over at patreon.com/respawnaimfire, you have exclusive access to Locked and Loaded 2 Electric Boogaloo from Alexander Cozina's wonderful RAF Game Show series. This time, Adam and I are on the same team. Does it work in our favor? Does it tank us? You'll have to find out as we battle Harry and Lady Galaga. Did I get Harry? Is Harry right? I know it's an H name. Henry. Because it's Henry Kingdom Hearts. X Henry, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right, Alex?
Yes.
His name's Henry?
That's
Yes.
your buddy.
Okay.
Why are you giving us a hard time about it?
I got to be honest. I might have been distracted in that one moment. Chad, you're showing a lot of love for Atreus, by the way.
Yeah, he was jumping up on my leg going, I was like, oh, fine, I'll hold you if you shut up. So yes, go there, check that out. While you are also there, again, we might have a special recording of something Elf Bowling related coming up that you can listen along to while maybe you watch something Elf Bowling related yourself coming in just a couple short weeks. So as a fun holiday surprise for you as well. So check that out on patreon.com/respawnaimfire. If you are not a patron, if you hate us and you hate giving us any kind of support, you can still show us support in a negative way by going to YouTube. And we love negative support because it also counts as positive support. So go to YouTube and check out Locked and Loaded season episode 1, which is me versus Adam, with also Dave and who was on your team, Adam? I can't even remember.
Chris Waterman.
Chris the Waterman. Go check that out. It is available now for everyone, audio and video on YouTube as well. And last, I'll just reiterate what Adam said at the very top. We have a little bit of a different schedule for the holidays. We are recording this right now to go live on Tuesday the 12th. We are skipping a week of shows next week. We will have a Pody Goaty episode with a bunch of friends on it that will be recording and going live. I don't remember when it's going live, but we're recording it on the 22nd. And then we will have our regular Goaty discussion from the results of that Pody Goaty going live after that. So lots of irregularity. Just keep an eye on our Twitter and look at your feed. And if you get a notification and your feed says there's something new, then there's something new. Go listen to it and enjoy it and consume it. So that's everything. I want to give a special round of applause by patting my dog on the back to Alex for running all of this while I am in absentia from my home and don't have my usual setup. And Alex is ready and primed and has all of his wonderful setup. So thank you, Alex, for running this episode and the future ones this month as well.
Thank
They're
you.
all wonderful.
Thank you. Not a problem. Not a problem.
And Alex, if people are concerned with your nutrition and you want to assure them that you are actually eating food because you have proof of it on camera, maybe in the future, where would they go in order to see that proof?
You can find me over on Twitter at Alex Kazina, which is where I will be posting news and pictures related to my upcoming Cooking with Cozy Bear streams, which are going to be returning at an indeterminate point in the future. When is that indeterminate point? Well, it's indeterminate. So please pay attention to my Twitter and assumedly also this podcast as well for when that will be.
Excellent. And Adam, what's your address?
123 Fake Street. No, I will say that interesting stuff. Maybe I got an email that I got approved for media at a certain event that happens in Boston.
Oh,
It's called
damn.
PAX. So anyone going to PAX East, you will see me most likely because I'm trying to go. But I do have media for that, so that should be a fun time.
Dope. When
Ooh.
is that? That's March?
It's like March 21st through the 24th or something like that. Yeah. A couple months
Awesome.
away.
Awesome.
Just
Awesome.
if anyone who's going, I would love to meet up and hang out with people. I'm only probably going to borrow the Jacob McCourt probably about 4 of those days straight. But if you also want to hang out, let me know.
Dope. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you all of my wonderful co-hosts for your participation and not letting me win, but allowing me to flex my prowess at you and on you and with you. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. I won. I did it. I beat Adam.